In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make melodic house like Anjunadeep using Ableton stock plugins only like this. Hi, my name is Vlad and I help music producers to turn their passion of making music into real business without spending years on figuring things out. Do you want to learn how to consistently transform your ideas into radio quality tracks, grow a loyal fan base, get heard, and impact people's lives with your music, make them feel emotions you have behind your tracks? If you want to become a full-time music producer, build a sustainable career in the music industry business, just click the link down below, register for my coaching program, and I'm going to help you to take your music to the next level. So don't miss the opportunity, guys, because we only have 13 seats left. And if you have any questions regarding the coaching program or you would like to talk to me one-on-one, there's also one more link down below. Just book a time for a free strategy call and let's talk. So no more talking and let's start with the tutorial. So the first thing I want to talk about in this Anjunadeep tutorial is the low end. I want to play you the bass line. So it sounds like this on its own. I really like how these notes sound. So if you look closer, you will see that here we don't have the space in between the notes. So for example, if we would go to G, that's going to be a perfect fifth. But when we go something like this, we get tension. So I'm going to draw a diagram. So for example, if we have a note, let's say this is going to be the D, right? D is the key of the track. And let's say we want to go to G, so this is going to be the perfect fifth. This is going to be the fifth. But what happens when we go like this? So we go to C, and we don't have any space in between. So if I just copy the notes, we have the C, C, B, and A sharp. So basically, there are no space in between the C, B, and A sharp, because if you look closer, you will see that we go just one semitone at a time, basically. And this is what creates tension. So if you do something like this, it's going to create tension. So if you want to create tension, this is what you should do. Try coming up with a chord progression, a bass line that has something like this. So it shouldn't look like this, for example. So once again, if we go from C to G, we have a strong interval, a fifth, or an octave is also a strong interval. Or you could go to A, it's also a perfect fifth. Alright guys, I hope it makes sense. If you still have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'm going to help you there as well. And now let's talk about the chords. So if you look at the chords, we have, again, the D, C, B, and A sharp. But if you look closer at the notes, you will see that we have a lot of identical notes actually. So here, here, and here. So what happens when you have a lot of identical notes in your chord progression? So for example, so let's pretend that this is a chord. So we do something like this. So it's going to be D, right? And let's say I want to add more notes, but we don't have the red note in the first chord, right? So it's going to look something like this. And I want to have one more chord. And let's say I'm going to do something like this, and maybe something like this. So the more identical notes you have, so something like this, and this, the more stable the chord progression will be. So, and if your chord progression looks something like this, maybe like this, it's not a problem, but the more identical notes you have, the better, because the transition between the chords will be much, much smoother when you have more identical notes, as I have here. So if you listen, so let's remove the bass notes just for a second and listen to the chords. So basically it's just the same chord, but when we add bass notes, the vibe changes a lot. So that is the thing with the chords. If you want to learn more about Anjunadeep chords music theory, I'm going to link a video somewhere here, so make sure to go and watch it as well. Let's move to the main lead sound in this track, and it sounds like this. So the main thing with the lead sounds for progressive house, melodic techno, is that they are pretty repetitive. So if you look at this pattern, you will see that it's only one bar long, and it repeats and repeats over and over again. So what could you do to make it sound more interesting? So let's say that this is our main lead sound, and this is basically just one pattern if you imagine this in Ableton. So let's say that this is 5 bars of the melody. So what you can do to make it more interesting, you can add some small elements like here, right? Something like effects, maybe additional melodies, but something that's playing here at the end of the loop, so it doesn't sound that repetitive and that boring. And this is what I've done with the second melody, and let me show you. So here are the notes. Basically, I'm just utilizing the D minor scale and the notes I have in my chords, and let's listen together. And now let's check just the same pattern, but without this thing at the end of the bar. I think it sounds pretty okay, but without these elements that you can have at the end of the loop, of the bar, whatever, it sounds a bit empty for me and just a tiny bit boring. And the next thing I want to talk about is the complexity of the melodies. So let's say that you have a very, very complex melody, and I'm just going to, make it like this, like this, like this. And sometimes the more complex the melody, the faster it gets boring, and it's actually not as interesting as if you would have, a very repetitive pattern as I shown you. So for example, I'm going to show you the first melody when I was making this track. So I think it doesn't sound that good. It's more complex. So let's listen to this melody, and I'm going to loop it, and we're going to listen about 8 bars. So you can feel how it sounds in the context of the track and what I'm talking about. Yeah, for me it sounds a bit cheesy, but the thing I'm talking about is that it gets boring faster over time. So if we would do more simple things like this, these are simple. So these are simple. And these are complex. And complex basically means that it's gonna get boring over time faster. And what I'm talking about here, guys, is that it's actually better to make simpler melodies, but maybe add something like automation. So you can, on top of that, let's say that the orange is going to be automation, something like this, and orange is going to be, let's say, cutoff. filter, filter, cutoff. And even though it's pretty simple, you can add life to this pattern, to this lead sound with automation, with effects. And in music, I would say that less is more. So you should be doing pretty minimal stuff, but the complexity sometimes is actually beneath the surface. It's in details like layering, effects, but the foundation of the track should be simple, because when you have, pretty complex melodies, it just gets boring faster after time. Believe me, you can try this yourself. I'm going to leave this melody so you can just test it, how it sounds, but I think you will agree with me that this melody, the second variation, is way better. Alright guys, so I hope it makes sense, and I've also added a pad, and pad is basically just about the same as the piano, just, to add more elements, but be careful here. If you add too much, your track is just not gonna work. So let's pretend that the red is piano and orange is pad. And piano can have something, top and maybe mids. And on the other hand, pad can be stereo width, right? So basically what we are trying to do, we are trying to combine different elements. So basically what we are trying to achieve when we layer our sounds, we are trying to achieve a pie, and a pie has different ingredients with different tastes, and this is exactly what you want to do with your sounds. The pads, the pianos, just combine different sounds and take the best parts from each sound. And the last melodic element in this track is this arpeggio, and I've basically just copied the piano chords, but the thing is, it can't play together with the main lead, so maybe you can do just another part of your track where you will have just the arpeggio playing, right? Yeah, basically that's it, and I have some, vocal atmosphere, vocal effects, just to add depth to the track a little. Yeah, pretty cool one. So now let's talk about the drums, and drums here are pretty simple. So the main clap sounds like this. And the hats in this track are pretty interesting. So I have the main hat in the middle, and I have one more hat in my left ear and one more hat in my right ear. So this is gonna be the center, this is gonna be the right, and this is gonna be left. So basically I'm just hard panning the hats I have. So this is gonna be the main one. This is gonna be the left one, and this is gonna be the right one. And when you implement this technique in your tracks, you can create a really wide sounding hats, claps, shakers, basically any drum sound you can imagine, And I've also added some more elements to make the track more interesting. So here we have some groove hats. Yeah, and basically this is it. And this is what I've done with the shaker, basically the same approach. I have the main sound that's playing the main pattern, and here I have some additional elements, additional shakers, percussion to add some more groove to my drum loop. Yeah, so these are the simple elements, but you can see that every single element has some character to it, and when you stack a lot of elements like this, you get complex sound. So instead of trying to add more elements to your tracks, try stacking elements you have, maybe resample them, maybe add some effects, but try to be minimalistic and try to be simple, and you will see how much your tracks will improve after. So that was it for today, guys. If you liked this video, if you learned something new, please subscribe to the channel, smash that thumbs up button under this video, don't forget about the notification bell, and leave your comment below. Once again, guys, the registration to my coaching program is officially open. All the links are down below. So if you want to become a full-time music producer, start making money with your music, impact other people's life, and be confident and share your music with the world. And if you still have any questions about the coaching program, or if you'd like to talk to me one-on-one, all the links are down below. Just book a time for free strategy call, and let's take your music to the next level. That was it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.